right, everybody, we'll be starting in just a few moments. All right. Let's get this show started. Hello, hello. How is everybody tonight? So, okay. Sounds about good. So, this will be live coding, so nothing is really prepared. I have no idea how it's going to turn out, what's going to happen or not happen. But the idea is that I want to get this new, what's supposed to be community website up and running by the end of the stream, at least with a little bit of a content. So hopefully like in 2 hours or so, as you can see, quite a few things are already done. This is kind of rethemed version of my what I call socialized starter, which is a reference template or also like starter template for my subscribers and sponsors. So that's where we are starting off, which means all the user accounts, all that stuff is up and running. Let me move myself somewhere over here. And so that in this case, we can just go ahead and focus mostly on building the features and everything, and doing a few other things. One of the, should I call it, one of the issues that will be running into here, especially in the beginning, is that since this is a Meteor website, there is only login with the Meteor developer account, which when you start going locally, presents some challenges. So we'll have to eventually solve these up as things go. Figure out what would be the best way to get going locally and fix any issues that arise. It's been a while since I've been dealing with debugging issues with OAuth and all that stuff, so that's yeah, we'll see what's going to happen there once we get there, but we are not even that far yet. But before I proceed, if you have like any question or if you spot anything, you know, feel free to type into the chat, and maybe we can even have like people joining in on the, let's see how we could do this. Yeah, we could maybe through the Discord, one of the Discord communities, which is another problem that that this website is eventually going to want to solve, is because right now we are spread all over the places. So we have 2 Discord communities, 1 Slack, and of course the forums. And I would, at least personally, we'll see what everybody else is gonna to dwindle that down to have the forums as kind of the official long-term discussions, and then in the future implement and kind of integrate into this website our own Rocket Chat instance, and kind of phase out Slack and Discord communities in favor of those of Rocket Chat. So, but first things first, what will be actually the purpose of the MeteorJS community website? And the main purpose is to be a crossroad. So of course, since it's about Meteor commit packages, it has to have information about the packages that we maintain and all the other projects. Since it's crossroad, I would also like to provide some information on people that are in the community. So when somebody new comes in, they can kind of look at it and see, who should they probably talk to if they want to do something or similar stuff like that. And finally, we need to replace our community meetups page with our own system, because sadly Pathable has closed down as of 3 days back. So all of those things kind of need to be integrated in it, and in the future we can do a lot more with this as well. So yeah, that's when it comes to the features, and we'll be building this as we go along. Great. So let me pull up the code. Right now I'm still kind of building up the absolute basis of the code. So, and by the way, let me know if this is visible. Fine to you, or if I should kind of enlarge the code. So it's the socialize starter. I don't want that, the original. I want our website. Here we go. So let's close unimportant code or files. So I'm starting kind of like from GraphQL ideas how the data should look like. So here I have for a group, that's for a meetup group, and then here we have for the meetups, and then we have some for organization. That's probably not something we'll be doing today at all. A bit extension of the profiles here, because what I want then to add to the profiles, and actually since we have that out, and that's something I should probably add to the here. So with all the other things with the profiles, I want to also add is featured, which type is Boolean, default value is false, and let's map the options since we have a default value, and we'll be starting with a new fresh database. So that's one, and here we have a featured text, which is type yes, so we have here it's simple schema, feature text. Okay, let's just not go that far, because first I just need to be able to find them, and then we'll eventually want to have some sort of like a feature text describing what that person does and all that stuff. But I think that might be getting too ahead of ourselves here. So, and now then, I think I kind of did already a little bit on the groups, and they are kind of already tied to except this, yikes. Still I'm having issues after years with relative and absolute paths. So let me also do one more thing. Let's just play some nice music, which won't you hear because of copyrights, but at least for myself. Okay. Oh, I actually need to set it up again here, damn it. That's what happens once you come back to computer after about 3 months of being away. So here we go. Music. Let's find some nice tunes. By the way, guys, just also a question to all of you. What are your, how should I say it, preferences, or wait, how do you what do you do in the background to kind of keep you going with when coding? That's what I'm interested in. See. Whoop. So okay, it's a little bit of a strange crash here, losing my theme, but it's fine. Which also kind of reminded me that I can use BrainFM for some focus. That actually will not distract me at all, quite the opposite. And I think since I actually have the lifetime paid subscription, I can probably also share that music in the background as well. Let me do that. Test audio. I'll make it lower for you guys. So let's see, we want to have something creative. So let's find something like that. Great. By the way, if you like what you're kind of hearing in the background when it comes to BrainFM, there is a link in the description of the video. You can get some you can get discounts, I think, and stuff like that from that. And this is also like one of the things primarily for you, because I don't get anything from it, because I got there for this service super early on and got like a lifetime subscription, so I don't get any benefits, but I think you might like that. So first things first, that I kind of want to tackle this, since it's a crossroad, is the projects. And a project here can be anything. That's where the type comes in, and I think it will be better explain my idea in the schema. So let's quickly copy over these imports. We won't need which, at least not yet. So we'll start with the basic projects collection, new Mongo collection projects, and we'll do project schema. let me know if the music is too loud or too low, or if I should kill it. So we'll do some simple schema. So we want a, it's like kind of laid out. Let me just copy that. And in a way we can, stuff like this we can keep, but in this case here for type I want to have more allowed values, and this will be package, not package, and event others. So let's see. Then we have a picture, which is type object, and it will be a black box. That's the optional because we mostly don't have many pictures for packages and stuff like that. The same thing for banner. Now we can actually have the INTL ID here. So the idea of the internationalization ID here is this is like for the different tags, so it's easier to translate. Because of how the translation system is, so this will be available on Crowdin, so people can quickly go in and translate. And let's see, what can we play with here? We'll just kind of get back to it into time. So some regexes here, not here. Let's see if I have one for ID. Okay, so I don't have it for a link here, but it's fine. I'll have to fix that at some later date. So we have a repository and stuff, because we have, of course, for packages we have repository, but if we go for like for events and everything else, then it's going to be a different story altogether. So maybe repository is not the correct name. Let's just do website, and we'll assume that if it's a package, it links to repository. So we have coordinator ID, which is of type string, and we'll have our regex ID here, and we'll have that optional. And we have the main contact, which is an email address in general. And that can be some so for example impact, I'm going to have like a specific impact address there, or for the package there might be like another email that they can, for a different project they can put in, and that's how people can contact them. So, and now we need to attach the schema. And let me double check here from, yes, attach schema was the one. Okay, so we have projects. So now we have them. I just want to put them into our resolvers. Projects. Let's export default here. And then a query with all that stuff. So we actually need to add some queries here. So we'll have for project, we'll have the ID, which is a string, and it will then return one, not profile, project. So the idea here is I'm using GraphQL for the front end, or kind of like the public section, and then subscription methods and all that manipulation is using DDP and the basic structure for that we are used to in Meteor itself. And then get projects, or in this case just list projects, so it's easier, and I want to have the page number and limit. Or do I? I think that will be fine. And we'll get back array of projects. Now, before it really starts complaining, I need to import project from. So I'll just keep the naming here projects, it's fine. And I need to make the resolvers work. So I have the get project. So it needs to be an async function, which is fine with us. So the first variable here is unknown, but then we'll get, it's called ID. Using some sanitization just in case somebody is sending us something naughty. And then we'll return the projects collections. Find one async, so it needs to be awaited, just like that. And next one is list projects. We have page and limit. I'll put in here some defaults, so I don't have to worry about typings. What else do we want to do here? So return await, projects collection, find, and then we'll have the fetch async here. So selector is empty, but we want to make sure that we have the limit included. And now we need to calculate skip, which is limit times, and now it's page -1. So we have that. And we probably want some sort, basic sort, and let's do this by name. So that will get us the basic GraphQL functions up and running. And I think that should be it for that regard. So let's get up and set up our routes for that. So we have here about us page, so route, path. We'll just have it as projects. We'll get our element ready in a moment, and to make it easier, I'm just going to create another directory called projects. That's going to have all of our UI elements. And let's see, we will start with projects router. Again, guys, if you have any questions, suggestions, or want me to cover something specific, let me know in the comments. I'm watching them. I have like my main screen here, and then I have everything else on the side here. So just router, that's the function component. Looks like I will have to do some updates here on the feedback module. It's quite outdated. Another one that should have everything going. Let's see what we have here. Okay, let's do it by search. Want to get some. Okay, let's go for the profile router. That one is updated, so we just need these bad boys. And yeah, one big thing I will not really be doing that much about design. That will be something that we'll have to do at a later stage, primarily. Because oh boy, that's going to be another big one. I'll just kind of do the basic layout, and that's where I'll leave it. So now, how I'm thinking about the layout here. Originally, I kind of planned to have like a in-between step for the community website, which was to use Docus hours. And if we go, we have of course some errors because I'm not doing anything here. And I'll just do a lazy loading as well. It's going to be, we have projects. This is also not going to work because profile router has been updated. So, projects router. So yeah, back to our design thing. So we had there, the big thing is like we had like a navigation like for each of the big sites. So I'm taking to kind of cover the same approach here to have to have like a navigation with all the different projects on the left, and in the center we are going to have our main content. So cons. And we'll probably want to have it somewhere else. I don't think so. So we'll have that here. I'm using styled components, so it's right there. And how it works here with the React router is that we can actually have. That's how I'm going to use it. Is the projects menu is going to be like on the top, and the routes are going to be embedded inside. So we also need a container. So we have container. We have the projects menu. And we want to have the projects content. So we'll start, of course, with the container here, in which we'll have everything going. Then we'll have our projects menu, will be the different links to all the different projects, and project's content is where we'll have the different routes and the displays. Okay, sounds good. And we'll be needing a few more things here, so we'll need also route that's going to be the index page. Let's quickly make that project start, and we'll be able to probably, we can then have a lot of fun with this, probably, kind of having like suggestions here and all that stuff, but that will be coming later. So we'll have that in here. Probably want a heading here from our other existing ones. Let's see. There should be an SEO component, I think, somewhere in here. If not, then I'll have to probably port it back. It's better heading, but we'll need a formatted message here. I'll have it projects start heading. Actually, in this case, for the SEO, we'll need the title. So we need INTL. Message, in which I'll be putting this ID, this title to make it easier, and the default message. Projects, and we'll paragraph here will actually have a, it's actually before. Project start. I'll just have it intro. And one more thing that I'm going to put this here, centered. It's much easier, so various projects focused on just very short, nothing special. So now we can add it here. Project start, boom. Also be needing nav links here in a moment. I have to check if this is going to work. Formatted message. ID projects. Nav start. Intro. Right, then we are going to do here a separator. Orientation is horizontal. Good. So, how is everybody going? Something for the chat. Let me actually switch to the live chat here. Should be able to go to localhost /projects. Cannot convert object to primitives. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, I know. This is a problem with the lazy that we actually need export default here. At least that's what it should be if I remember correctly. Yes, here we go. So we have our nice page here and everything going just fine. Let me see if I can do something about it. Okay, so let's stick with this. Okay. So we want the projects and everything be here on the right, and then we have the rest of the page for this. So since I am not a designer or really have very little in regards to this, it's going to be, how should I say it, bit lacking, but let's do a flags. Or do the 100%. In this case here as well. And we'll have for our projects menu, the width is going to be, let's go with 250 pixels for now. Okay, so that's looking much better. And now it's always actually see if it extends all the way down. We need for our projects menu some nice background color. Not to mention to also make sure it's nicely done. So we are using here the palette from Start Tools because we have a theme with all the different things. Since I'm on dark mode, let's check what we have here for interesting maybe color we can play with. A different background color. Yeah, let's do that. And we also need to do background text here. Oops. That's actually just color. Okay. And so we're going to be kind of circling through these colors to see if we have something that we can work with. Actually, I think the first one works pretty well as well, so yeah, that's good. For the container with 100% as well. So it's 100%, but we'll have to probably adjust that and see if it goes out of scope here. It looks like it has taken it nicely. No extra slider, great. So far looking good. Now before I forget, we have here these IDs for our INTL. So here's our translation package, and I'm going to create a new file here called projects, just so that we have its own separate file for everything, especially for projects. That's going to be important because there's going to be a lot of things to translate here. So we have projects, MCP support, and we have another string in the router, if I'm correctly, as project nav start. So this is going to remove any issues with INTL yelling at me. Just very quickly, I here added like a star here, and that's so that we can have router here with multitudes of routes. That's just rack routers thing. So if I refresh that, yeah, that warning is gone and everything is super happy here. Some issue in the app manifest. I'll just very quickly look at that. Starter should be the same as origin. Okay, so that's just that because I'm not live on my website, so that's not an issue for us. Now then. That's for projects. We'll have the same. Oops. We'll have the same thing for people. I'll just have it right now. Oh, what? No, let's just go and get everything ready. So people, that will be for our display and people router. That will be completely different design, but important part is so that we have something up there for now. People. And then we have meetups, so that's going to be... Meetups is going to be a big one, so I am just going to quickly create here kind of the things that we need. So before I also need for groups. And because that will kind of precede meetups altogether. So we have meetups. So not meetups, I want groups. Meetups will have to do a bit more design. How it's going to work. Okay, so we have at least basic routes going there. Meetups we'll see in another time. I'm thinking maybe something to do over the weekend or where else. So we don't need those right now. We just want our projects to show them that they exist, and we want to now, before moving on, link to them from our main website. So promo box here. Where are we going to put them? You can see there's going to also be promo image as well. Start promo box. Now it's a div, but we want to link this entire thing to. Let's just not think too much about it. From React router to the general component. Yes, it's actually correct. It is. Meetups. And if you rename this to people, then that's going to work as well for us. So section be able to do it like that. Which means if I go, it should be people, and I need to go to my translation files and change the links here. So yeah, instead of profile, it's people and people. So this is also kind of the approach that I want to use with the projects. So what I want to do is it's going to be project, and it's just saying it's going to be roles, then so description. So this that way I always forget which one, if it's double L's or N's, but we'll fix that later. So then instead of roles here we'll have all the different packages or projects listed. So this way, the text for them is not in the database necessarily, only the name, which we might consider doing that as well for translations as well. But I don't think we have like any projects that will require that, so that's fine. So this is kind of like the approach that it's going to take, and for our on our servers we have here the index with demo data. So I'm going to create here a new files with projects. Projects. So let me just go to the database for a moment. Import why is this? Call this function, not think too much heavily about it. So projects collection, find, I don't want to find one. I do recall there was a upgrade, or there was like a change with the count. Because MongoDB has made some changes, so it does like an estimated count and precise count. Let's check on, or actually you can probably go to the docs. Whoops. Themselves to see that. Oh, it's actually here. Okay, publish counts. No, that should be. So it's deprecated and yeah, count documents, estimated documents count. Here we go. So that's documents in the cursor results, so the count is an estimate and not guaranteed to be exact. So function let's make this function async. You don't want to. It doesn't really matter that much to us when it runs, or if it just runs like that. So, estimate weight. Is bigger than 1, then we'll just return this function. If not, then we want to start adding some basic projects, and for that let me just open code. And I'm going to open my old, very original, or not original, but I have like, when I was trying to get it onto Dokusaurus everything, so it already has all the necessary data kind of ready to go, so I just need to open it from that. So this is the old temp. You can see some languages. So we have packages. Yeah, I'd say a lot of them. But let's just start with, as I mentioned before, we have roles. Okay, now this is a question for chat. Should we just include the GitHub repository, or should we also kind of include links to Atmosphere and Packosphere locations for those packages as well on the website? That's managers are going to be displayed automatically, so this is the description for it. And we can, of course, always expand it and adjust it. That's the beauty of and having things together. So but I at least want to add one projects collection insert. Usually how we do this is we have a projects array, and then we'll have projects for each, projects collection insert async, because we don't just want it to kind of get there in there asynchronously. It doesn't matter to have it synchronously in this case, so you don't even have to do the await here. Alright, so we'll do that, and now we can kind of prepare the data. So if we go back to our schema, let's put that aside here. So what do we need? We need name, which in this case it's roles. Type is package, and let me actually do it right here properly. Since typos are quite an issue every time, it is good to have, say, a united like this, and I can then just do also object dot values here. Well, for TypeScript we have to do a little bit more, but we don't really care that much here. We just here want to do the, if I export it actually, project types dot package. So that way also if I change you know, the actual name or fix it, then it will be the same across the board. So we have that. We don't have a picture or banner for that. Our INTL ID is roles, and that will be it for the. Okay, so actually we need the website address, which is actually still missing for some reason. Website type string optional true, because there might be some exception. Or is it here? Is it? It's here. So where the heck did I put it? Oh, over here, okay. So I just missed it because it's like that. Optional true. So, website is this. That will be. Oh, let's actually add one more. Let's choose picker, since that's that is my thing that I've been working on, and if you actually know, in Meteor 3.0 it's not actually needed because Meteor 3 is going to use Express underneath everything, so picker is going to retire. Okay, so we'll have picker and roles ready here. Let's go back to the big screen. Project picker description, and from over here we'll just add this. Meteor .x or Meteor 2, because in Meteor 3 it's not going to be available or not needed, and I don't think it works in Meteor 1, or I think the minimum version is some like 2.3 or something like that. So sweet. Okay. So with this setup done, you can just very quickly info. I'm just going to quickly set up the page so that it can actually go to somewhere. Project info, which is a functional component. So we'll be getting the params, but we'll have to go back here to our router. And that will be here, that will be project ID. And I think that's actually maybe one more thing that we can add to the over here, which is something called slug. So that's just for nicer looking web pages. And to do that in our projects, it needs to be, oh, this is string that's required, and that's going to be indexed. All right. So guys, I'll have to take a toilet break, but let me know in the chat what do you think if we should add, as we look here in the old how I originally had it, like, you know, atmosphere and pacosphere links. If that is something to potentially consider to have in our system as well, compared to the GitHub repository link that's going to be available everywhere. So let me know in the chat what you think, and I'm going to take a quick break. We are not done. Just need to switch your text. Thank you. Alright, I am back, just sipping a bit more tea and eating some sweets. Right, no opinions on that. So okay, we put okay, so it's going to tell us here about the promises or not, so that's fine. So let's see if that works. I haven't put in here any console logs, so let's do that. It's a good idea to at least have some console logs. So that we actually know that something is happening. And in the future, I have to check actually what is the estimate, what's going to give this back to us, or I hope it's number. Haven't really checked, probably should have. So, come on. Oh, that's a good idea to add in here a limit. It's 2.6. Docs, collection, estimated document. Okay, so that should return that. It's for 210, I'm on 211, so okay, so it is on. So I should be able to just like that. doesn't look correct. It's fine. It should be like that. Oh no, it's actually the selector is inside. Okay, that's interesting. So selector goes here. And option is just the option two. Okay, so it's adding roles and picker now because it's that has yeah, so it has added multiple times now, which is not what we want. So that we have that unhandled exception here with this. That's something new. Anyone has already used the estimated document count? Turns undefined, so probably all the typings, which will explain that. Check what we have here. Oops. There you go. What line was that? 326. Yeah, so we're just passing things through. Very strange. Let's remove our options and everything. Okay, so that looks like it didn't like the selector there for some reason, or more likely our options. Find 6 documents because for this we inserted 6 times, but and the reason why I didn't yell at us is because I forgot to do this unique true for our slug. Because if it's not true, then it's going to create some very strange conditions. that gets underway, our next step is to that's for the future for the image old and stuff like that. It's a bit out of the way now. So what we want from our project router, we want to fetch here from GraphQL our projects with just the basic things. And we'll be needing this. So let us import that. So we'll start our GraphQL. It's been a while, so I'll have to get myself a bit of a help. And project, we have the list projects, and let's see, the page. Limit. Okay, so page, limit. We want ID. We actually have a slug here, not yet. So slug, which is a required string. Slug name. I think that's it. But we don't need anything else for this. So now we use our query hook, projects, and variables are, we are on page 1, and is that the limit? Yes, limit, just say 100. We'll never use them all anyway, so it's fine. From this we get loading, error, and of course data. And we have, so we have this query results. Yikes, this is out of date. Usually tell by the imports, so it has not yet gotten the care it needs, so that will be something I'll probably be doing afterwards. So, that will be right here, query results, loading, data, and error. What this does is it just adds some extra stuff here to make sure that there is, loading circle and all that stuff. So it doesn't display prematurely, and or if it's like an issue. So packages. If I remember correctly, that's how it is. This always good to have. And then we'll have some let's see what else we have done here. Events and others. So I will filter these out properly. What we'll be getting here is then the project, and we'll be keeping it if project.type equals package. And here we go. So, and now here we can do packages.map. And we'll have a nav link here to project.slug, and here we'll add project.name, and of course the key is going to be project._id. Just do it like that. It should stay on the we'll see what happens. Part of this is always finding out new stuff. And I'm just getting to experiment because they've added the kind of relative routing in React Router recently, so of course that's stupid. Why would I map something that I don't know exists? Same thing goes for these filters. And that's because, of course, it's before the data loads, so we don't know what's going on here. So when the data loads, it has... Okay, I am... like that. So, projects... So, oh, because I didn't get the type. That will do it. And here we go, picker and roles. Okay, so if I go to roles, okay, it at least stays on there. So we have the links working, we just need to make them pretty. But that's work for pretty much after the stream. This right now is just to kind of get through the functionality. So, and of course it goes to project start, which we don't want. We want this to go to project info. That, and we'll see what. And that's not going to work because we are using a slug here, and we need to update our resolvers to actually sort of ID, not just to search for ID but also for a slug, or so it's always going to be a slug. We can just go with it like that. Ugh. Okay, and we have nothing here, so that's shows it has worked at least partially. Because yes, okay, actually it worked perfectly. So now what's going to happen for us is we actually get constant get project GPL, which will be query project. It's going to be let's just call it slug. It will be a string. We'll be calling project. I'll be renaming this to slug. Project. I'll just name this project so it's easier. Slug will be slug. ID name. I think we pretty much want everything here. Repository for coordinator, we want the ID, username, avatar, that's it, and then main contact. I'll just have to make quick check here for our projects if I kept yes main contact. So getting a bit crowded here. Results. On into our results here. Query get projects with our nice variables, which is Slack, which is project ID here. Might rename it in the future, but right now it will be fine. Again, we want data, loading, and error. Okay, so I put it on the top because for this one we need all of it. So we'll do with our H1 heading here. That will be data.name. Yeah, let's just start with that. And of course we have to because of course it won't be data.name, but we want constant data.project. Project. Yes, that should do it. And what it's going to do is that the query result component is not going to let anything go through until the project data is there. So just needs to make, or at least that's how it should work. In this case it won't probably finding because we have not yet fixed our resolver here. No, we fixed that. So let's see what that calls. Okay, so project is null. So it has not found anything like that. If project and it's not loading. So at the very least we can add this here. Happy about it, just partially. Okay, so I have a question from Alim about the usage of GraphQL. The idea here is that I'm using GraphQL for data that is not changing frequently, or that's kind of in the public area of access. Which means, you know, for like projects, that's most of it's going to be, in essence, static data. So I was like thinking how to do this, you know, if I should have you know, just hard coded in and all that stuff, but with just a lot of code repetition. So in the end, I decided to opt to have it in the database, because then it also enables me to you know, reference that in other areas if it's needed. So that's something that will be coming in the future. So this is kind of for the front end front end, or not front end, like because we have, when I'm talking here about kind of like the public data that everybody's going to be accessing, that's not going to be changing that often, but I kind of found it will be much more easier to work with these things through database than having like if you look back here in my old attempt to kind of get everything into Docusaurus, you know, it creates a lot of you know, files and everything, and in a way it was a little bit of a pain to then manage everything. It still is going to create a lot of stuff, for example, in the translation files, because we have to have everything accounted for, but at the very least, you know, it's not going to be constant repetition of stuff. Plus the other benefits of having these things in database, which will allow us for more options in the future. And then, of course, once I get to the admin section, then it's going to be all DDP, so subscription and all that stuff, and of course methods. So, but first we need to debug what's going on here. So, async await, like we have there. So, let's check this project ID on the server, what's coming through there or not. Nothing came through, so I'll refresh one more time. And if nothing came through, let me check my other resolvers if I have the object, or sorry, the order correctly now. So it should be, yes, first is the object. Oh, that's like another thing that as Min has pointed out, Apple has quite a good caching about these things, so I don't have to play with any of the DDP caching packages to kind of have the same result. ID. Oh, because I rename it to Slack, that's why. That's why renaming is a pain. Now let's see if we have our actually no, that should not, should have given me at least something. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, calling Meteor methods. Yeah, actually, not sure how you're doing like the query mutations and whatnot, but I'm not really using the Apollo mutations because methods I find are just better for that, very rarely. So when I like do like calls, usually then I'm using Meteor methods, and I think maybe once or twice, like in my big application, I have actual use of Apollo mutation. But not even that, because for me, GraphQL is just to fetch data and display it, not to, whenever I like manipulate data, it's usually, you know, it's subscriptions and then methods. And if there is like some sort of data that I manipulate via, you know, or that is received initially by GraphQL, usually the manipulation or the adjustment that's happening there is not directly related to it, or it's like, you know, a button somewhere. So I usually use methods for it as well, though probably I should use mutations on those, but I'll have to kind of look into that more. So that's definitely interesting thing. So it's still giving us undefined. I am not getting any console log on the server of this getting hit. So I've project, slug is there. And I'm not seeing it here. Why? That's the big question we have here. Project is everything over here being called correctly. Loading data error. Maybe this is just getting called in prematurely and then it dies. If data and or no data. So when I build things like this, is there like a point of time you checkpoint your code in Git? Yes, it's usually like when a specific feature is complete, or when I complete a thing. So once I figure out why it's crashing on us here, that would be a good point to do like a git commit, which I'm going to do, because then I have well I'm gonna get to it once we figure it out here. So no project data, let's just go a bit more explicit here and see what so it did not like that I was if no project. Okay, well, if it's loading, and it's going to show the loader error, it's going to show the error. If it's loading, it's going to show us our loader. Then if we don't have any data, then it's going to show us like nothing to see. So just actually, oh, okay, I see, because we have the so what I'm thinking here, we can probably extend the query, or we can have that like that. Okay, so now it's not found. Data is still not coming there, but at the time it should. So thinking of we should probably extend here. Not found check. Check, that can be any. Bit lazy here. So main thing is that the default, the loading is false at first. It's kind of like through the first run, it's false because it's not loading, but it triggers it, so that triggers then re-render. But I kind of get caught up in that. Actually, we can probably check on that. No, actually, no, it's not, because if we... Oh no, first is undefined. Or is that... No, that's the old... Before I did that, so let's check here again. What's happening? Yes, it's going to break, so that's fine. So first run, it's the data is undefined, and then loading is true. Still undefined and true, and it somehow gets through to the children. So in this case, loading is true, so it should always return a loader and shouldn't get further in the code and trigger an error. But for some reason it does. Oh, actually, this is the new addition. So let's get here. This guy. Let's go from the beginning. Okay. And now we are back to the name. It's still loading, so it should not be getting... There's something, use Apollo client. Let me check on that. So you get the client. That's configured there, and okay. So then you do it more manually. I see. There's use subscription, which are still not working as they want. Let's see what we have here. Use mutation, which we won't be using, and of course then this will be use lazy query. You have the use query. What's the use lazy query about? That calls use query APO client ultimately executes the corresponding query, but if you want to execute query in response to a different event, okay, so that's you get the data later on. Okay, so it might actually come handy for another feature that I have to build over the weekend. Yeah. So strange that it actually is trying to populate it here. So I think it might be just it might be an issue somewhere in here, because loading is still true, but it just makes no sense if loading is true, like we see in these consoles here. It should just return loader and not show children at all, so what the heck? That's strange. Suggest okay, so here we go. We have query results undefined and false. Oh, that's interesting. False. Undefined for data, but loading is false. So yeah, that might be as Mingo said, that the initial loading is for some reason false. So let's see if maybe if I can. Why is it though false? Let's see. Because if I'm looking at it in our here are console logs, but they happen afterwards. Let's go to the picker. Oh no, so it's undefined. Sorry, no, loading. Need to add more here too. Okay. Let me remove this initial one so we have the most correct option. Now, so the loading is true. As it should be here. True, false. But for some reason it gets down to the... It renders the children below it, so... I think that might be something strange in React then. Though I might eventually want to add here the not found check. Let's not do that today. So I think one option would be I think I might have something similar before. As well. How did I? I think one option might be to. Of course, this is how I'm going to go for right now, just because I want to add the formatted message here. So I'm thinking one way would be to kind of have what I'm going to write in the query results as its own component, which is probably something that's going to happen in the future as well, kind of separating the like kind of the data loading logic from actual the displaying logic. I'm still fighting on how exactly, like, what's the kind of the best pattern for me on this. But usually it's separated because of then for testing purposes and all that stuff. And yes, yes, this is a React code. Obviously, there's a lot of additional components. What I'm building off is my socialize starter, which my sponsors get access to as a reference application. This is code that I have been building up, or it's kind of like taken out from the True Universe, and it's code that I've been building up for, well, since 2015. So it has already years, so you can already see I have a lot of pre-built components that like query results, that headings that I throw in here to get things moving faster. So, okay, now it's throwing me a 404 code. So I think it's trying to render here when it actually should not at this point. So let me see what we have for data. So when it loads, oh, that's strange. Till ID. Oh, I should probably. It's missing a lot of the other data I would have thought we have put in. Not here, not this one. Oh, because we no longer are using repository but website, that's one thing. So that's going to appear on the next reload, and everything else is there. So let's check at the project false and stuff like that. Let's see. Let's add some console logs here very quickly so this is visible for everybody. So loading is false. So that should be fine. And then we have the object here as a project. So always questioning if I have a typo or not. That's and I can actually avoid typos like that. Since I have it in variable, why not just like that? Ooh. So we're doing like something. Okay. Now we got undefined from the. Oh, that's strange. Why are we suddenly getting 400 from the server? Let's try to restart server, maybe GraphQL had a hiccup. And let's do this. Yeah, let's see if it's got simplified as that like that. So project role. 41, which is loading as false, and we get no data, and I don't see the request here. So there's like 400 bad requests. This is something with GraphQL sending a bad request. Yes, I see. So because it has the repository instead of website, so that's what it was. Kind of don't like that GraphQL is not, say, more forgiving in this aspect. That it's, you know, whenever you have like any error, you're just going to completely blow you up, and it's like, yeah, nope, not working with you. So we have the roles displayed here, and now the question is, where is our introductory text? So that's the project start. Where did I accidentally put it? No. So let's be more proper and put text where it's in a paragraph when it should be. Did I not request? So INTL ID is roles. Oh, and it's not picking up because I have not wired up port projects from. That's why. And here we go. So we have the basic things kind of going. So as was suggested before, this is a very good time to put things into Git. So let's switch to over here. Yes, this is the new website. Wow, that's a lot of things there. So, first things first, we'll add projects into our INTL. There we go. So this repository with all the translations files is publicly available. The website itself not yet, because I still need to figure out the legal things, because people are actually paying me for the basic starter code and the license to use it, either through GitHub sponsorship or through other. I just signed a couple of days back a licensing and a support deal for that, so I will have to figure out all the details of that stuff, how to do this properly, how to open source this, or if it's going to be some limited only to the inner circle of MCP. So that's still something to figure out and determine on my side. So apologies about that. So it's about time for my dinner. Didn't get as far as I wanted to, but that's usually the case with these things. But I'll be continuing on this over the weekend. And what you can then expect is that I'll be probably making sure that the Now the menu here looks nice. Like kind of the display here looks a bit better as well, and that we have all the different packages and all that stuff. So what's going to happen here, as you might have noticed, I've kind of already in the project router, I've kind of separated here the packages, events, and other projects into their own arrays. So then I'm going to go and have for each of those categories kind of their own, let's say, submenu displayed there, and so it's much more easier to navigate. One big thing is of course going to be figure out the mobile view for this, because that one is will require still a bit of work. Right now oops, yeah, I can see it's not even working properly yet, so I'll have to jump into that, fix everything up, which probably most of the time will be just bringing some code from the universe, but where we have kind of advanced this a bit more further. But it's slowly starting to diverge, which is kind of what is maybe going to help this to get published earlier, the code at least. And so once I have the listing of projects done here, of course the next step is going to be all the other features, but I do believe that with just the packages listing, I will then get the website started. One big thing that needs to still be determined is who is going to pay for all the hosting costs. So I think maybe partially it will be sponsored by the universe, but if you want to pitch in either by sponsoring me, or I'm hoping that we can get the Blaze, it's not really foundation, it's like we have what's the name of it, damn it. There's like a fund, Blaze fund, but I'm just right now blanking on where it's hosted, so I might be, because we have been talking along, this probably won't be here, we have been talking a lot about what we are going to do with this in the community, and I think the best way is going to be to transform it into a general fund for Meteor community packages, so that if anybody incurs like any expenses in regards to working on MCP, we can compensate that, hopefully fund this website and other things. I think for funding on Galaxy, I think we can convince Meteor Software to kind of sponsor us on that aspect, and then we just need to figure out how to deal with hosting on Atlas. And even there, probably it's unless then the website gets super big with other features and traffic, I think we can get really on the low one. So it shouldn't be that expensive. Maybe even the free tier, but that's I think that might be too low for this. So that's kind of how it's looking in the next few days. This will hopefully be up and live. So packages, then I need to just make sure that the login is all fine, maybe some updates on the mobile theme, that's a big one, and kind of my next big thing, or kind of very quickly, is going to be community profiles and the community meetups, and with that connected admin features. Those are kind of like the big things, but I think it's not going to make it in the initial release. It just won't have enough time to manage all of that. All right, I think that's it for me. Probably like one last thing is that as part of sponsorship from Meteor Universe, we'll probably unleash our designers on this as well to make it look better. But again, that's a bit more in the future because we'll be getting super busy with Meteor Universe in this and next month before things quiet down a little bit. So, okay, so that's it from me for this stream that kind of came up very quickly. And so I thank you very much for being here, for all the comments and everything, and I'll see if we can make more of these and make them maybe even more interactive and have more fun. So if you have any ideas, either send them to me here in the chat, comment if you are watching this as a recording later on, or send them to me at hello@jandevarag.me. Of course, like, subscribe, and if you are so inclined, there's also links in the description to services that I use, so affiliate links, some purely for your benefit, like for BrainFM, which generates the music that we have in the background. And yeah, if you are so inclined, you can also sponsor me on GitHub, which will make sure that I can spend more time on this. And with that, everybody have a nice weekend, and I'll see you in the next stream.